Diontae Johnson had a down year statistically in 2022. He was held under 1,000 yards, he didn't record a touchdown, and he regressed in pretty much every statistical category. But after watching his tape from last season, I think he was a lot better than the raw numbers would suggest, and he wasn't being used in a way that maximized his skill set. Before we get into the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also follow us on all of our social medias. You can find the links to those in the description below. 900 yards and 0 touchdowns is objectively not a great year for a receiver that's making $18 million, but there's a lot of factors that went into that drop off in production. First of all, the Steelers threw 12 touchdown passes as a team last season, so it's not like this was some high-powered passing offense that Diontae Johnson couldn't produce in. There just weren't a whole lot of red zone opportunities to put up big touchdown numbers, and he had a couple really nice 2-point conversions, so if you really can't get past the 0 touchdowns, just pretend that those were regular plays. And then he drew 7 pass interference calls, which was the most among NFL receivers, and he also drew 7 PIs the year before, and that's a lot of high impact explosive plays from Diontae Johnson that just don't show up in the box score. So I don't think he had as much of a down year as it seems, but he isn't completely free from blame. Diontae Johnson is the first player that comes to mind when I think of elite separators that struggle catching the football. Looking at ESPN's receiver metrics, which are based on tracking data, over the last 6 years, Diontae Johnson has the highest open score at 93, and the next highest is A.J. Brown with an 86. And last year, Johnson had a 99 open score, which was the best in the league, and only one of 4 99s in the last 6 seasons. But he has a 40 catch score, which is well below average. And in this quadrant, you see other receivers like Jerry Jeudy and Marquise Brown that fit into a similar archetype, but no one has a bigger disparity between getting open and catching the football than Diontae Johnson. Now, I would still rather have the elite route runner with drop issues than someone with reliable hands who can't get open, but a player like Diontae Johnson who's good for about 8 to 10 drops every year is going to leave a lot of production on the field, and it's hard for me to expect major improvement in that area. It's been a consistent issue for his whole career, but there were a good amount of plays where he caught the ball but couldn't get both feet in bounds, which isn't something I had noticed before last year. Johnson usually has really clean footwork and coordination along the sideline, so I would expect some positive regression in those situations. But the drops alone shouldn't be limiting Diontae Johnson's production to this extent. Every season there are receivers with more drops than Diontae that have more production because their teams feed them the ball and give them high quality opportunities that take advantage of their skill set. But last year, Matt Canada had him playing a weirdly specialized role. This is Diontae Johnson's route distribution for his career, and you can see last year over 40% of his routes were either curls or outs. This is something that Diontae does at a very high level. In my opinion, he's the best route runner in the NFL on curls and comebacks. His ability to drop his hips and stop on a dime is truly special. You can see right here, he's selling the vertical route. He keeps his head and shoulders level, doesn't give Denzel Ward really anything to telegraph the route, and then it just takes a couple gather steps to completely stop his momentum. He uses the push-by technique with the inside hand to help him stop and carry Ward downfield with his momentum, and he's done a great job throughout the process of the route of preserving this extra space between him and the sideline so that he has enough room to work back to the football. So this should absolutely be a major aspect of Diontae Johnson's game. When you combine his release off the line of scrimmage, his start-stop ability, and his technical savvy to attack blind spots and manipulate leverage, he's borderline uncoverable on the vertical plane. Really, the only way to stop him is for him to drop the ball, or he'll do this thing where he makes the catch and then backs up like 5 yards to try to create more space, and a lot of times he'll pass up an easy first down. But this is still a very high percentage play, and your takeaway from this video shouldn't be that Canada needs to stop having him run curls, but Diontae Johnson's a complete player who can run the entire route tree. There's no reason he should be relegated to this one-trick pony role. On this play, he's running a slant against Stephon Gilmore, and instead of just doing a simple diamond release where he fakes outside and cuts inside, he basically stacks 3 of those together. There's probably some fancy name for this, but the effect is that he gets further upfield and every step causes Gilmore to back off a little bit more, and then he's able to create easy separation off the break. The problem is that instead of running straight through this gap and most likely reaching the end zone, he dances around and puts the Steelers in 3rd and short. Right here, he's running a deep post against Sauce Gardner. He gives this jab step to the outside to widen him out, Good job using the right arm to slow down his recovery, and then he makes a nice catch, but he can't get his feet in bounds. I kind of understand the thought process behind not wanting a smaller receiver with inconsistent hands running into traffic over the middle of the field, but he's proven to be an effective route runner on digs and slants, and that's where you really get the best yak opportunities. In his first 3 seasons, Diontae Johnson was really productive after the catch. He ranked in the top 25 in yak per reception 2 of those 3 years, but last year he ranked 86th out of 100 with a 2.82 average, and most of that drop off is based on where he's getting the ball. There just isn't that much space to work with along the sideline, so unless he's got 3 steps of separation on a go route, he was never going to be that productive after the catch with the route tree he was running last year. And looking at missed tackles forced per reception, Diontae was at 17% in 2022, which is the highest since his rookie season. So Matt Canada needs to add more variety to Diontae Johnson's route tree, not only because it'll make his game more complete, but also because screens and slants are a great way to get the ball in his hands and let him create more after the catch. So I'm a lot higher on Diontae Johnson than most people. When I think about the elite route runners in the NFL, it's Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, and Diontae Johnson in no order. Now, the other 3 players are much better at catching the football than Diontae, but his separation ability alone should make him a perennial 1,000-yard receiver if he's used correctly. And you actually see flashes of elite ball skills. He makes some insane catches along the sideline where he shows his concentration and body control. So it seems to me like a lot of the drop issues are mental, and we'll see if that ever gets fixed, but honestly, he can have 8 drops a year and still be an elite receiver in my opinion. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL players or teams that you'd like me to cover.